on the sidelines always make the most noise, whilst those working hard move in silence. Today they will mock you, critique you. Tomorrow they will try to imitate, copy you.
I don't wanna dress up for you and be a toy. I'm not that girl. No, I'm not that girl. Put your feelings aside. Give that wild shot a try. I'm not that girl.
No matter what you do or what you say, someone will want to give their 2 cents worth. You don't seek the opinions, the approvals, yet for some, the assumption both have relevance to you are still strong in their mind. How do we fend off the critics, the haters, the naysayers? How do we decipher what is purposeful to us and what is detrimental? Some people will always be difficult pains in the ass. They have this inherent need to shove their own belief systems down others' throats. It's bad enough letting others get inside our head, allowing them to chip away at our confidence. But what's worse is that loudmouth, a mind demon in our head. That little fucker known as our inner critic demon. The biggest critic we have to learn to ward off. If the voice of doubt in our own head is endlessly on a put down roll, how could we ever allow another's words of hate, disbelief, critique slip away like water off a duck's back? It takes a lot of bravery and often soul searching to silence those demons. They know our every vulnerability and they highlight them to us consistently. When we feel we are in a position of weakness or uncertainty, that's where most of our self-belief problems come into play. We have all these internal fears and have this tendency to overthink too much about others, what they'll think and what they'll say. We worry we'll look a dickhead if we step away from the fold and chase our own goals and dreams. Most people on this earth won't give a rat's ass about us, won't even know or care we exist. We are in our own universal bubble. Most people we know will be focused on their own stresses, hang-ups, doubts, fears. They have enough circling their own mind to add what we're doing to their whirlpool of thoughts. Then of course we will have those who think it's their right to analyze, critique, judge. They can have their voice, but we really have the option whether we choose to hear it or not. Give me a hell yeah if you agree. People will most likely judge or analyze based on their own limitations or beliefs. These kinds that critique and judge you will either do it silently and offer no support whatsoever. Your silence can be right deafening. Then there are others who try to instill doubt, insecurity and belittle your ambitions, perhaps because they'd not have what it takes to attempt the endeavor. They're a hater or they just don't understand it. Point is, it's not for them to understand. I've always worked on things outside the box, things that saw me working into the wee smalls with little gain or compensation. I've dabbled in everything from selling personalized poetry at markets, an online clothing store, modeling, to most recently a fitness business studio I owned and operated for 5 years. Absolutely bust my ass, went without a few consistent weeks off for years, all in between keeping home and raising 5 children, only to be repeatedly told by those around me, it's great, you have a hobby. My point is, you can be the hardest worker in the room, on your way to being the biggest success ever, but if others don't understand your mission, your end goal, it's not uncommon for them to undervalue, underestimate it somehow, underestimate us somehow. It's these mindsets that often deflate us. They instill in a doubt, resentment, hurt. When those we care about don't see our value, how hard we work, the passion, it makes it very hard to see the positives in ourselves. We can easily develop an inferiority complex, a need for validation, approval. We need to learn to use that hurt, that disappointment as fuel to our fire, not a retardant to our flame. Determination to show them all, but most importantly to show ourselves we didn't need their bloody approval. None of us appreciate being criticized, but we can use it to do better, to be better. We have the option to decide whether we'll let it affect us positively or negatively. If someone is criticizing you constructively, it's to your advantage to take notes. Learn and grow from the information they are sharing. Even if you initially feel a bit butthurt, if there is something in there somewhere to be gained, then it's a positive. It only becomes a negative if you get your back up and get defensive. None of us know everything. None of us are perfect. We are all constantly learning, evolving. If someone delivers us something we can learn, become better from, more fool us if we don't take advantage of that. If someone is criticizing us merely to be a know-all, we have the choice to see it as a negative or a positive. It'll only be a negative if we take the criticism to heart, let it ruin our day. I'm a big believer if someone is being hurtful or nasty just to get a rise from another, or merely to feel better about themselves, it says a lot more about them than it does about us. Pity the person, they obviously harbor some deep insecurity issues if they need to gain attention, tearing down another or their work. These are the people that know you're above them and will say or do anything to tear you down. You have to ask yourself, does what they're saying really matter to you? If it won't matter to you in a year, don't let it or they matter to you either. If this is a person of esteem who is in a position that their opinion can make a difference to your journey, or if it's just some joker on the sidelines, a heckler in the crowd, becomes a positive if you understand that the sideline joker ain't doing shit with their life, yet wants to tell you how to up the game in yours. The negativity critiques can only distract from your performance if you allow it the energy. You will never have your time in the sun if you cower away every time another casts shade over you. The only people whose opinions should matter are those who line your pockets. If they're not paying you to listen to them, turn them on mute. Unhear those who try to get into your head. Haters don't matter. They are merely a sign you are doing something greater than they. A sign the miserable bastards know it too. Some will respect us, some will critique us, but we get to decide who impacts us. Criticism is like information in a sponge. Absorb the constructive, wring out the destructive. Don't let anyone projecting their insecurities and fears on you affect the way you see you. Only those who take their life nowhere above the norm will be left alone by critics. Most people you know won't support you or help you along your journey, but will expect to be there right beside you when you reach destination success. Let others critique, let others judge whilst you're out there getting better. The greats of this world ignore the hate speech, the naysayers, those with too much to say, because they're too busy being great. People will never remember the critic, but they will remember they who triumphed in spite of them. Some of you have the credentials to back up their running mouths. They are spitting meaningless bullshit out into the wind, whilst you are riding the wind, becoming unstoppable. Those on the sidelines always make the most noise, whilst those working hard move in silence. Today they will mock you, critique you. Tomorrow they will try to imitate, copy you. When you've won the battle with the voices of your own mind, you will pay no mind to the voices of others. Watch how fast those voices are silenced once you prove them wrong. You will go from being hated, mocked, judged, to them bragging they knew you when. People find comfort in those standing still and inspiration from those at the top. But when someone is in between, brave enough to reach for the stars, those beneath will do everything they can to shoot you down. Keep flying, let them watch you soar. Be the encourager, the motivator, the one who never quit in spite of all they who tried to make you. The world needs positivity, the world needs inspirers, the world needs others to lead the way to greatness. It's better to be judged for having the courage to shoot for the stars, to take on the world, than to be deflated and held back by those who are fucking irrelevant to your world. I'm Sharon Leanna. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. Drop me a comment so I know you're here, and be sure to hit the like button for me too. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, as it really helps my channel grow. I appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss my next one. Find your inner warrior. And while you're here, check out my other videos. Until next time, love, peace, and light to you.
Break out of your shell, meet me halfway.